Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about the Tesla 12 volt battery. Not the large pack that's running your car, but this 12 volt battery that most people don't understand the purpose of and why it's there. I've done other videos on this battery, both old and new, but I want to sum it up. And it also is a maintenance item. It's one of the few maintenance items that you'll have on a older Tesla. Now, in 2021, Tesla switched to this ternary lithium battery. It's, as you can see here, let me find it. Yeah, it's made by CATL. It's a 6.9 amp hour battery. It's made with 4 cells, and it only has 6.9 amp hours total, and it runs at about 15.5 volts when it's in the system. Now, this is great. Tesla had to do a lot of changes to the architecture to make this work. So there's no way you can retrofit this to an older car. Let me repeat, no way. I get asked this continuously. No, you can't put the connector in. No, you can't change the wiring harness. It just will not work. There's too many changes. First of all, this has an intelligent BMS in it, and all the rest of the software in the vehicle is designed to work with this really small capacity battery. If we have a look here, on the data sheet for this battery, you can see here, this is the one that's used in Teslas. This is 45 amp hours. Compare this to 6.9 amp hours. So they get away with this small capacity battery by reducing the load on it a lot. And the vehicle architecture has changed for that. For instance, if for some reason the high voltage system doesn't come up to support this, then they'll shut down systems in the car to ensure this doesn't go dead right away. Now let me back up and say that the 12 volt battery is only used when the car is asleep or in the event of a fault of the high voltage system. When the high voltage system is online, then there's a DC to DC converter that takes over and provides 12 volts to the car and recharges this if it's lost any energy. So in the Tesla, on Model 3 and Y, this is in the PCS, and also on all cars 2021 and newer, like S and X, have the PCS. Prior to that, they had a separate component that was a DC to DC converter. And basically, this does what an alternator does on an internal combustion vehicle. But in this case, it takes high voltage from the main pack and provides low voltage for the 12 volt system. Now, why is this done? A lot of people want to know. For one, it's safety. There's 2 big contactors inside the pack envelope that go open when the car is asleep. And you know what these are if you've ever gotten in a Tesla when it's asleep. You hear that clunk clunk. That's the contactors closing and providing high voltage. Now, the only way they can do that is because they have power from the 12 volt battery. So that's the only thing that's keeping the door handles, the remote control, the Tesla app, all that working when the high voltage is asleep. So it's needed for that purpose, and it only needs to have enough capacity to support that. Now in a Tesla, if this does get low, one of the ECUs in the car, depending on which model, on 3 and Y, it's VC front, will wake up and recharge this. It'll close the contactors even if there's no one around and run for a little bit just to charge the 12 volt battery back. So that's generally solved. Now the problem is on older cars, we have this lead acid battery, and the lead acid battery is, it degrades usually in about 4 to 6 years. That's what most people get out of these. And generally they know, because you'll get an alert that's visible on the screen that says 12 volt battery needs replacement soon. And you should replace that when you see that. For one, it's going to cause a loss of range because the high voltage system is going to have to stay up longer all the time to keep the 12 volt system going, because it can't depend on the 12 volt battery when it shuts down. Now, if we go to the Tesla parts catalog here, you can see here's the AGM 12 volt battery for Model 3 and Y. It's only $85. So every 4 to 6 years, spending $85 isn't that big of a deal. You can put this in yourself. It only requires simple hand tools. I'm sure Tesla does it for a low fee too. This is what I recommend people do. in the past, a lot of people really reject the idea of having lead acid battery. So they turn to something like this OMU. Now, these things cost $459. And I posit that in this case, this isn't a solution. For starters, most people that put these in get alerts on their screen. And the alerts are that the 12-volt battery is disconnected or low capacity or some other thing. And even if you look on this website here, they tell you that your vehicle may prematurely recommend 12-volt battery replacements. Now, all that aside, even if you ignored that, I want to talk about why it's a bad idea. So first, let's take a look at this OMU battery. I have one here that I've taken apart. A friend sent me this after he started having alerts and problems. He thought this was going to solve his problem forever. Put this in and no more problems. But immediately he started getting alerts and problems. So he contacted these people and they gave him the runaround. They wouldn't refund him. And anyway, he ended up with no solution. So he fixed his car with a conventional battery and sent this to me to analyze it. I cracked the top off, which was actually really easy. When you can see the glue that they used to glue this on is only in the corner. It doesn't even cover, most of the battery. There's only a few areas where it's actually glued. Now here's what was inside there. This abomination. It's pouch cells and a Chinese BMS. There's no temperature monitoring. The only way this was held in there was with spray foam, like you get at the hardware store. There is a BMS, no thermal monitoring, like I said, so the BMS does not know when this is below freezing. And you don't want to charge these batteries when they're below freezing. That's another reason why the lead acid battery works better, because it will, for those of you in cold climates, you don't have to worry about it. It reduces its capacity when it's cold, but it doesn't damage the cells. This will damage the cells if it's charged, in too cold of a temperature. In addition, the biggest problem with these is this BMS. Now, the way this works is, because this is designed for a lead acid system, they put the BMS in there. And what the BMS does is when this thing gets fully charged, the BMS detects the cell voltages, and some MOSFETs in here open up, just like a switch, to disconnect the charging current from the cells inside. And of course, as soon as that happens, that's when the car gets really pissed. It'll show the alert, 12-volt battery disconnected, or some other alert. And this is really bad. The 12-volt battery will still allow a load if the car tried to draw from it, but the fact that you have these switches present disconnects the battery from the bus. And the 12-volt bus is a noisy environment electrically. It has high current motors on it. Your power steering system can draw peaks of like 100 amps when you're maneuvering in a parking lot. And the PCS isn't really designed to supply all this continuously with those spikes. In fact, people report when they put these in that they can hear whining coming from the back seat. That's the PCS complaining, basically, that it has no stability on the bus. The bus becomes electrically noisy without the lead acid battery there to stabilize things. If suddenly a load disconnects or an inductive load dumps current onto the bus, the 12-volt battery will happily lap that up. Without that, there's nowhere for it to go. And there have been reports in the forums, you can check it out yourself, where people have had to have, $2,500 PCS replacements because they put a battery in like this and the PCS blew up, because it immediately starts stressing out the PCS. So we don't want to do that. You don't want to have a battery that will disconnect itself from the bus, taking over the second most important reason why this 12-volt battery is in there, and that's 12-volt bus stability. So don't do it. I emailed these. I noticed that they don't even advertise a capacity on these. So I emailed them and asked the capacity, and they wouldn't tell me. And I said, well, that's pretty unethical to sell something and not even, that's capacity-based and not even tell the customers. So I ran my own test on it. And if you allow the BMS to start to stop the charge and then run it down until the BMS disconnects, you get about 40 amp hours out of it. But this BMS is really poorly constructed, and it overcharged the cells beyond 3.6 volts, which is where manufacturers recommend you stop charging a lithium iron phosphate cell. And I think it went down to something like 10 volts before it disconnected. Now, I just don't trust it. It's not a very accurate thing. No temperature monitoring. It's just not professional. There are plenty of lithium iron phosphate batteries on the market that have, really nicely engineered BMSs, but this isn't one of them. Anyway, so I hate to talk bad about someone trying to help the EV market, but you don't need this. Go to the Tesla parts counter and pay $85 for this. It's pretty cheap for what you get. It's clear Tesla isn't trying to make money on you, and you only have to do it, a few times during your ownership of the car, so it's no big deal. Now on the new cars, we'll go back to this battery. You'll notice this is $200, even though it's only, it's less than 7 amp hours. And these things are sourced. Tesla didn't make this battery. They bought it from CATL, Chinese manufacturer. CATL makes the BMS inside here. And this is intelligent. It has the two terminals here for power, and there's also an extra terminal that's for LIN, local interconnect network. That's a single wire serial communications, and that communicates with the Tesla body controller that coordinates charging in this, and then it tells the PCS to set the voltage to whatever this needs to be charged at. Works great. However, if this ever goes dead and is left to sit, and as some of you know, I deal with a lot of salvage cars. In that case, there's an accident and the high voltage system is disabled. So this is powering the car and it only lasts for, maybe an hour or so. Then it's dead. And you can jump it, but jumping it won't charge this, unlike an old 12-volt battery. So as soon as you disconnect your jump pack, it's dead again. You basically, if you get a car with one of these that's dead, first thing do, unplug it. You can take this connector, there's a little latch you pull up and then slide it away and the connector will pop up. And then provide external power from another 12-volt battery or jump pack or power supply battery charge or something that can supply probably at least 30 amps at 12 volts. It can't dip below 12 volts. That will run everything in the car and let you service the car until you can get the contactors closing. Once the contactors close, then it's safe to reconnect this. At that point, you can go ahead and reconnect it and then run a software redeploy. That's the easiest way. There's also in service mode, there's also a reconnect procedure for this. But I found even sometimes that didn't work until I did a software redeploy. In any event, if you do that and this battery works, there'll be an alert that goes away once this is reconnected. If that alert does not go away, then you'll have to replace this. You definitely do not want to be attempting to recharge this. Several people have cracked the cover off, and believe me, I did it on one of these, and it destroys the battery, and it's a lot of work. You don't want to do that. Plus, recharging these things once they've dipped below about 2 volts per cell is super dangerous. Again, this is a ternary battery. This isn't lithium iron phosphate. So when you take a ternary cell below about 2 volts, and then recharge it, you get dendrites. And the dendrites are little spiky things that can penetrate the separator that separate the positive from the negative inside the battery cell. When that happens, you get fire and explosion. Let me show you this clip I got from someone I know who, I think it was a friend of his shop, had an explosion when they tried to recharge one of these. Yes, it was this exact battery. Here's the clip. Yeah, do you want that kind of thing going off under the hood of your car? Yeah, it sucks that they didn't engineer the BMS to not discharge this below 2 volts per cell, but Tesla didn't do it, and that's just the luck of it. Buy a new one if this won't reconnect. It's $200. It's cheap peace of mind. Don't recharge it and then have your car burned to the ground because you cheaped out on $200. Anyway, that's all I want to say for today. If you have any questions about this, I'm really responsive. If you go down in the question or in the comments and ask a question, I'm happy to answer them. And as always, I hope you have a good day wherever you are. Take care.